Good afternoon, everyone. Mary Sloan with another episode of Inspirational Influencer News, people making a difference. And my guest this afternoon is definitely someone who is making a difference. Barbara is the heart-centered accountant. Don't you wish your accountant was heart-centered? Mine's always number-centered. I don't know if there's heart there or not. It's just numbers. But she helps small to medium-sized business owners maximize their profit while limiting their tax liability. My kind of gal. Pay as little to Uncle Sam as you possibly can. She received her Bachelor of, sorry, my screen's a little small here. She received her Bachelor of Accounting degree in 2006, after which she worked doing taxes and bookkeeping for small businesses locally. During the pandemic, Barbara started keeping it straight, bookkeeping and accounting, to be a virtual accounting firm, providing services for businesses all over the US. She's a member of the National Association of Certified Bookkeepers, the American Institute of Public Bookkeepers, a QuickBooks Online Pro advisor, and a US Navy veteran. And we love our veterans and we're so grateful for your service. Thank you. We're not working with her clients to become the true CEO of their business. Barbara enjoys doing crafts such as crochet, knitting, and watching Disney movies with her best friend and companion animal, Process Leah. And as we were talking, just coming into this show, Barbara was telling me that she's also a grandmother, and she had grandma duties this morning and had to go pick up a grandchild on her first day of school. So very exciting, very accomplished woman. So Barbara, what is it that you most want to make sure our listeners get from our show today?
Well, primarily the heart-centered accountant. This is something that means a lot to me. My focus, my client focus is actually on, the holistic health and wellness industry, the people who actually are out there helping other people get better, feel better, do better, and they're very heart-centered. And to me, this is what I do. I mean, if I had all the money in the world, I would still be an accountant. I would still want to help, the holistic health and industry. It's my passion. It's what I truly love doing.
It's great when you find your true calling. I mean, so few of us are really blessed to be able to do that. So you can tell from the zip in your voice that it makes you excited all the time. And that's great. I mean, because when you can get that kind of business, or it doesn't feel like a job, it doesn't feel like a business, it feels fantastic.
My grandfather used to tell me when I was a young child, find a job that you truly love doing and you'll never work a day in your life. And so when I was in the military, I liked it. I loved traveling. That was great, but it was still just a job and I went to work every day. And after that, I got out. When I finally became an accountant, I truly love what I do. During tax season, I'll work 80-hour weeks and it doesn't feel like I'm working at all. It's great. It's just easy. So I finally understand what he meant all those years ago.
Well, I'm glad that you think it's easy. I always find Uncle Sam, just even thinking about it, kind of like, oh, cringeworthy. But we all have our passions, and that's what's really important. And so how long have you been working extensively with the holistic health and health practitioners?
Well, when I first started out, I actually, my clients were individuals that were helping me. And so I was doing their books and they were holistic health. I had a chiropractor and massage therapist, energy healer. And we were kind of swapping. They were working on me to get me better and I was helping them with their books. Here recently, when I went virtual during the pandemic, I decided to focus exclusively on the holistic health area because it just, to me, it seemed more of a natural fit. I love numbers and it's what I'm passionate about. And I know most, I don't know a single business owner that likes doing bookkeeping other than people like me that are a little crazy. But I know it's a hard shift. You know, the last thing you want to do after you've been working on clients and really helping them improve is to go back and do the numbers. You know, but you need to know your numbers in order to succeed. So that's where I come in, and it makes it a nice, simple, easy transition. And I mean, you get reports every month, but I explain them in terms that, you know, that you understand. So it's not, okay, here's your reports, there you go. You know, now you know what your numbers are. I explain them to you. So it's a simple process.
Well, that would be really nice, because I think that that's a really hard thing for a lot of us in the coaching world to wrap our minds around. That's not what we do day by day by day by day. You know, we kind of don't count many things. It's mostly talk, and looking for transformation and that kind of stuff. And, you know, while numbers can be pretty transformative, especially if you happen to go from X amount of billions of dollars to Y amount of billions of dollars, as Elon Musk apparently did, as he sold billions of Tesla. But, you know, not most of us have those kind of numbers to worry about, which is just fine by me. But it's still not something that we love to do. You know, the numbers just, oh, really?
Right. That is true.
It's kind of like,
you.
It's kind of like, okay, I have to.
Right. I will tell you that a lot of times, if you can get somebody else to do your books, it gives you a chance to focus on what you really love, and you don't have to worry about it. Now, a lot of people say, okay, well, that's great, somebody else can do it, and then I've got to pay for them to do it. But I found that the people that work with me, it literally helps them grow their business. It's not just here, I'm going to do your books for you, but it's, here, I'm going to take this off your plate. You're going to have a stress-free tax season. I mean, imagine not having to worry about your tax. You know, I take people, and I had a client once came to me, and I started working with them, and she wanted me to do her taxes. And so I asked for the previous 2 years' taxes, because it's always good to get an idea of what you're dealing with. And when I started looking at her previous year tax return, she had actually paid the IRS almost $6,000 and the state almost $2,000. But the more I looked at it, the numbers weren't right. They didn't look right. So I ended up looking at their tax return and asked if I could, you know, amend it and give her an idea. She should have actually gotten a $455 refund instead of owing all that money. And she should have only owed the state $1,000. So it saved her $6,000 just having somebody else who knows the numbers, whose passion it is to find those little tiny things. Is, you know, this is what I do. This is the fun part of my life, finding all that money for people, you know. And so literally it was a huge turnaround for her.
Well, so that makes total sense, because clearly if you're paying too much tax, that's really a bad idea. Because, you know, your partner on the other end just isn't grateful. No matter what, you know, they're still suspicious. You didn't pay us enough. Come on, you didn't pay us enough.
Right. That is true. That is very true. But I don't know. To me, it's the tax code is very tedious to most people, but I enjoy looking at it, reading it, and learning new things about it. How I can help my clients. I always look at it from that point of view. So it's kind of to me, it's fun.
Well, you know, and that's great perspective, because if you look at it from the standpoint of it's fun, then it will be, right? I mean, if you look at it from the standpoint of, oh my God, I can't believe I have to do this, then it won't be. And you won't really find what you should find, because of course you're not really there with any enthusiasm going, let's see how much, you know, what I can find and where I can save money and things. And so, yeah, I can see how it would make a big difference for people. And it's fantastic that you have that much passion about it, because I would worry about somebody who wasn't pretty passionate about saving their clients money. And I know there's lots of accountants out there for whom that isn't a passion. They sort of do the job, but they sort of do it the way I would do it. Like, okay, it's done. Off my plate. Now on to the next one, right? And so it would be great to have somebody who was passionate about it and passionate about knowing the tax code and what all is in it and what all you can save in, because it's not easy. It's super complicated. And you can end up paying so much more than you should by not knowing it. I mean, the stories are horrendous about people that, change accountants and all of a sudden have been overpaying for years. And, you can go back a ways, but you can't go back forever. The IRS is going, no, you already filed. Sorry, get out of here.
Right. They can go back as far as they want to collect taxes, but you can't go back to collect refunds. That is the truth on that.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
the nice thing, I was gonna say, the nice thing about all of this is if you have somebody doing the bookkeeping that keeps up with it, then when it comes tax time, it's simple because you have all those expenses and all those deductions already built into your book. So it makes it nice and easy to even get it into the tax return and saves you money just starting off, So it's kind of a smooth transition, I guess. And
so you,
there we go.
there you are. So is it something that you help people set up from, like how to bring their payments in, like if people charge for their courses or their programs or their services, do you help them set that kind of stuff up?
Definitely. I mean, I'm a QuickBooks Online Pro advisor, so I help them set up their entire system in QuickBooks. And many times, I mean, QuickBooks has a great way of doing invoicing, receiving payments. They even can do reoccurring payments of different forms. And it's a nice, easy, simple system. And if you need to integrate it with other things, they have apps that they connect with, such as Stripe and others that link to it. So when I set it up, it's all a nice, smooth system. Completely. I mean, it's transparent to the other person. I'm doing all the workings in the background, so it's a set it. You don't have to worry about it. I'll figure it out.
Well, I like that you'll figure it out, because I don't want to have to figure it out. I have better things on my mind for sure. But it's good to know, so you can bring a mess to you and you actually will get pleasure from straightening out the mess. I love
Absolutely.
that. Mess cleaners. Whoa, financial mess cleaners. All right, we know this is the heart-centered accountant. She's a financial mess cleaner.
Works well. It works well. I do. I love it. I mean, I just took on a client who hasn't done any books for the entire year, and I'm going to clean up the whole thing, set it all up, and get her going. So, but I enjoy it. It's like I get up every morning going, yes. It's just what I love to do. I know it sounds weird, and I mean, even hearing me say it, I know it sounds weird, but I do. I'm up at 4:30 in the morning, and I'm down at my desk, and I'm like, okay, let's go. This is good.
Well, I don't think there's any weird or not weird. I mean, it's, somehow or other, it stokes your imagination. It stokes what you like to do. And, you're doing good in the world. And, let's have more people doing good in the world and doing it in an excited, inspired way, because guess what? They'll do a better job. I mean, if you love doing what you're doing and, you see it as something that, is a total passion, then making sure it's done right and making sure that you catch all the pluses and the minuses and the ways that you should be doing it and the ways to organize and the ways not to organize, et cetera, that will be done. Whereas, some of these people who are there because they needed a job, you're really not sure. And, I've certainly run into them through a couple of different businesses and practices that I've been in. And it's like, oh, I wonder what they really did here. I almost feel like, maybe I better look at this, see if they added up the numbers correctly.
I do understand that. I have had people bring me their tax return after having somebody else do it and go, I'm just not sure that they did it right. Can you just check it for me? And I do that. Without a problem. I don't mind going over and checking, going, yep, okay, that's right. Or no, they didn't do it right. So.
And then, of course, you have a happy client as they transfer over and go, oh, please do it right.
Yeah, right. That is true. That is very true. So it's a lot of
So
fun.
where do you, because everybody's always looking for, where do you find clients? I mean, we all have the same question, if not the same clients to look for. Where do you find most of your clients?
Actually use LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. But I don't do like a lot of people where they sent you this email saying, come use me, I'm a bookkeeper. I like actually creating and getting to know somebody. Not everybody is a good fit for everybody else. And so I like getting to know a person before I even try and approach them to sell them anything. I'll even do like a discovery call, like a 15-minute, hey, let's just get to know you. No sales, let's just talk and see, where we are, what your business is really about, and just share information. And so like I said, to me, my clients become my friends because they're not just a client. Oh yeah, that's that client. No, this is a person that I know and enjoy talking to. And I knew them and started talking to them before they became my client. So but LinkedIn is that cool.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, because I use LinkedIn too, obviously we connected there, but, and I'm like you, I try to talk to people before I do anything else, because how can you do anything else? How could you even think of doing anything else until you talk to them? You really don't know, and I always think of the fact that really LinkedIn is a referral network. Mm-hmm. Really, that's Absolutely. What it's supposed to be. And so, you're really supposed to be on LinkedIn, building your network and helping other people build theirs and sharing your different, people and say, oh, I know so-and-so in my network who might be a good fit for you. Let me make an introduction, and vice versa. And, so these people that come across as, well, let's see what I can sell you, it's like, come on, give me a break. You don't even know who I am.
Yeah. How can you sell me something when you don't know what I need? That is
but fortunately, I mean, I have to say, I use LinkedIn too, and I haven't really experienced what a lot of people complain about, which is that people are always trying to sell them stuff. Whether I just make it quite apparent from the way I come at them that I'm not talking selling, and I want to get to know you. And if you don't want to get to know me back, then let's just pass on.
Yeah. Some people don't take no, but no for an answer. But yeah, that's actually one of the best ways to do it. If you say, hey, I want to get to know you, I'm not interested in buying at the moment. Talk to me. If you just talk to me, find out. Because I may not need your services, but at some point in time I might. Or if you tell me about you, I might know somebody that does need your services, and I'll gladly refer them to you.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, somebody approached me and had some service that they wanted to sell me, and they said, "This is what we have. Do you want to buy it?" And I went, "No." Real easy, no. No, yep. Thank you. End of conversation. And instead of getting to know me and getting to know who they were, they didn't seem any interested in that. And so, like you say, I might know somebody who might need their service, but the conversation didn't go beyond, no thanks.
Right. That's very true. I know I've got several connections on LinkedIn that I've had, just little discovery calls with, and then turned around and gone, hey, I just talked to somebody that I know you can talk with and they'll work. And I'll do an introduction on LinkedIn, just kind of a 3-way conversation, say, hey, this is this person and she needs this and this is really good. And she's really cool this way and you two should talk, you know. It just, but that's what I think LinkedIn is for, is getting conversation going and you know, doing that referral. I agree with you. Referring is the best way.
Well, and that's really what it is. It's supposed to be a referral engine where, you know, we get to know and you know, it used to be, because I've been on LinkedIn, I think since the day it started, but a long time. And they, you know, it used to really be common that you'd tell people, hey, take a look at my network and see if there's anybody there that you'd like to meet. I'm happy to make the introduction. I don't hear that much anymore, which is sort of odd, because it's still, you know, if you'd like to meet somebody and the third connections to you, if I'm not going to introduce them to you, it's going to be hard for you to get to know them.
Right. Yeah, that is true. That's very true.
So, yeah, I mean, but like everything else, it's your approach, right? I mean, if you approach things with an open heart, an open mind, and how can I help you, things go better than if you approach people with oh, I wonder if they need my service.
Yeah. A lot of times when I have these discovery calls with people, I always close it with, you know, I want to stay in touch on LinkedIn. If you have questions, tax questions, bookkeeping questions, just flat out questions, and I might know the answer, ask me. I don't mind answering questions. I don't mind, you know, helping you out any way possible, referring you to somebody. And I truly mean that, you know, I don't mind answering questions, period. You know, you need help filling out a tax form? Okay, let's talk about it. I can't fill it out for you, but I can actually talk you through things, answer questions.
Yeah, I mean, that gets a little tricky, and it's really a little pressing because, I mean, then you're having to assume that they have the right information, which they may not have either.
Right.
And you're also having to assume that they understand what they're even talking about, which is dangerous, I think, when you're talking about tax stuff. But anyway, you're brave.
Well, I mean, that's why I said I can answer questions. I can't fill it out for you because I don't know all the ins and outs of it at this point, but I can answer questions, you know.
Yeah. And maybe point you in the right direction or tell you to look a little more in depth here or there before you fill it in yourself.
Right.
Have a real problem.
Right. So much. Very true.
Anyway, sadly enough, we are coming to the end of our time together. And, you know, I think it's great that we have had this chance to have a conversation. That's what I love doing, is to have a chance to get to know people and to give people a chance to get to be better known in the various communities that my show goes live out into, you know, since we're streaming live on LinkedIn and streaming live on Facebook and streaming live on YouTube. So people can find us, which is great. And I've had people start to reach out and say, oh man, you really have had some great guests. And I said, yeah, well, of course, it's people making a difference. That's who I interview all the time, right? Of course, I've had great guests. They're all great because they're people making a difference. And to me, that is inspiring. And, you know, I've had such fun with this live show, since it does give an energy to it that sometimes I don't get from podcasts and stuff, because we are live, right? I mean, this isn't something that we had a chance to rehearse and we are going back and forth like, oh, I think I blew that answer. Nope.
And there's no editing. It's just there.
This is how it is.
Right.
Anyway, I want to say thank you very much for your time. And I hope that people who have accounting questions and don't have a heart-centered accountant will in fact be reaching out to you. And so on LinkedIn, if they look for Barbara the Heart-Centered Accountant, is that how they will find you?
They'll find me under Barbara Johnson. It does say the Heart-Centered Accountant in my headline. So yes, that will be there. If they want to, they can email me at barbara.johnson@ KISBAA.com. That's keeping it straight, bookkeeping and accounting. But LinkedIn is the best way to reach out to me, actually. I'll tell you the truth.
Well, it's good that we remind them that your name is Barbara Johnson, because we didn't quite get that into the headline either.
That's probably true too.
And they would have, although I think the descriptions and the show notes do show Barbara Johnson. They wouldn't let me put the heart-centered accounting because it went too long.
I understand that. I understand.
Anyway, hopefully you will have a lot of people reaching out to you, because gosh, that kind of just feeling like, oh, somebody's got my back on these numbers would be amazing. So thank you so much. And we'll look forward to talking to you and staying in touch. And now we're friends. No, we're connected on LinkedIn, friends on Facebook.
Yes, there you go. That works.
Got to keep it all
Definitely.
straight, right?
There you go. Keeping it straight, but keeping it accounting.
All righty. Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Bye now.